Come, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
Hello, YouTube. My name is Trey from Texas Sports TV, and I am making this video, and it's going to be a little bit more personal. We can debate exactly whether or not how legitimate this title is, but that's not what this video is about, because I'll always be willing to debate how legitimate this title is. I'll always sit down and we can debate exactly how much of it was won legitimately and how much the cheating scandal affected the Astros. Because no one's actually denying the Astros cheating scandal at this point. The point being made is exactly how much did it help, if it helped at all. That's the if it helped at all, and were other teams involved. That's not what this video is about, though. This video is to remind the rest of you, all of you people out there, why Houston fans fight the way they do for this title. Because what a lot of people seem to have forgotten is that this just isn't some World Series title to Houston. It might be for the rest of y'all just a title, but for Houston it is much more. It's not even just the fact that it's our first title. It was hope. It was joy. It was something to look forward to. It was an accomplishment, to show that Houston will never stay down. We will always rise up for the occasion. And what do I mean by that? Hurricane Harvey, mostly. Yeah, something y'all seem to have forgotten. In 2017, Houston was hit extremely hard by Hurricane Harvey. There are floods everywhere. The worst flood Houston has ever seen. It wasn't even the winds. Yes, there were strong winds. But if y'all remember, Hurricane Harvey just kind of hovered over Houston for a bit and it was a downpour of rain. Everything flooded. People lost their lives. People lost their homes. People lost their possessions, their pets, family. Outside Harvey, there were some personal stories, like me turning 18, dealing with my family, some of my family issues at the time. But again, there was more. There was old people stuck in their homes that needed to be rescued. Not everyone was able to get out. My grandma was one of the lucky ones. My grandma and my uncle, they got stuck. They were able to get out. I had friends who were also pretty lucky. Their house was flooded and destroyed, but they all survived. But not everyone was so lucky. Yes, and what I mean lucky is, yeah, they lost their house. Yeah, they lost their possessions, but at least they had their lives. There were people who lost their lives. There were children who lost their lives. And it didn't just affect homes. It affected people in hospitals. People in hospitals had to be evacuated. Babies that were just born had to be evacuated. There was a baby that was in an incubation tube. That baby needed to be evacuated from the family. There were old women that were just sitting in their homes that couldn't get out because of everything. They're flooded. They needed helicopters coming. They were being rescued off of boats, off of river rafts. There were dangerous chemicals in the waters everywhere. There were alligators in the water. There were people lost their lives. People lost their families. There were possessions that were also lost that aren't replaceable either. Pictures of loved ones, that last pictures that you have of them, the last memory that you have of them, they were washed away. So those kind of things cannot be replaced when that person isn't even alive anymore. That's what this title meant to Houston. There were people that needed to look forward to something. There are people still struggling in 2018 and 2019, and I guarantee there's still even a few struggling in 2020 after Harvey. You don't just the whole city can't just come back from that. Yeah, there were some people that were able to get a lot sooner than others, but you can't just rebuild the city just like that. That's a lot of people who lost their homes. A lot of people that need things replaced. It took time. It took a lot of time and a lot of energy. We rose to the occasion. We helped as many people as we could. There were people out, citizens. There were cops that lost their lives that day. There were firefighters. There were people that lost their lives that day. But there were also people going out of their ways to rescue and save as many as they could. Not just first responders, citizens, because that's citizens, normal people going back in boats to save people. This World Series is not just an ordinary ring. This World Series is not just a title. It's not just a trophy. It's not just a piece of metal. This one, yes, I wore all this deliberately because we're talking about it. For Houston, it means everything. For a lot of people, it was their hope. For a lot of people, it was their dream. It was their way of knowing they can get out of this. It was their way of being able to fight through. I know it may sound cliche, but it's true. That's what it's like for a lot of people down in Houston. Down here, that's what it is. They look at that trophy. It is not just a trophy, it's a sign that through the worst of times, they can still do something good. Through the worst of times, they can still be amazing. That there were a lot of people that had to go to the hospital because of Harvey. A lot of people lost their homes. There were people who needed to wait in lines for food, for water, for clothing. And most of the help came from the community. And that's what that trophy means. It's helping each other, getting through this. We are one city. And we can do amazing things when we work together. That's what this trophy means. And that's what it's about. And that's why we defend it. It's not just a trophy to us. It might be just a trophy to the rest of y'all, but it's not just a trophy to Houston. And you can try to say, don't make it personal all you want. It was personal in 2017 when we won it, when we got to the World Series, when we won that division title. It was already personal. It was made personal. Harvey made it personal. And then everyone else's internal struggles at the time helped it. Whether it be a woman who was taught baseball through her late father, whether it was through a man turning 18 and going into adulthood through a lot of different struggles at the time. And then Harvey, just on top of it, brought Houston together as a whole. There was a reason why they had the H-Town patch, Houston Strong, and Hurricane Harvey was it, and we will never forget it. In this World Series, the reason why we act like it's personal and we make it personal is because it is personal, and that's what y'all need to realize, and that's why we fight for it. Though how legitimate it is, we can have another conversation. If y'all want to talk to me about it, yeah, I'll talk to y'all about it as well. But this video is just why we fight so hard for it, and why it's personal to us. That's because it is. It's not because we made it, it's because it is. And that's what y'all need to understand. When y'all attack that team in 2017, when y'all attack that title, it's not just attacking a trophy. It's attacking so much more than that.